Welcome to Notre Dame Stadium, and this Irish fan base, it was re-energized by the win over USC, and now fresh off the bye week, Notre Dame welcomes the Pitt Panthers to town for the 73rd meeting. And for Notre Dame, a long 8-game stretch to start their year, a 6-2 record, and today the first matchup against Pitt for Marcus Freeman as head coach. And for Pat Narduzzi and Pitt, this year has been a challenge. 2-5 record, the key win, though, over Louisville that spoiled their undefeated season. Notre Dame, they looked recharged after the week off, right back home after putting on a show against USC. And here come the Irish. Pitt lost a heartbreaker against Wake Forest last weekend, but a new quarterback, Xavier Watts, has people excited again, and the Pitt Panthers out of the visitors' tunnel at Notre Dame Stadium. The third member of our team, Zora Stevenson, is the Notre Dame head coach, Marcus Freeman.
Coach, coming off a huge win over USC, then the bye week, how do you ensure your team is ready to go for this one?
You know we got the same one game, one life, and this is all that matters, right? Chapter 9, you don't get many guaranteed opportunities, and this is 1 of 9, 1 of 12, and we're excited for this chance. Now we got to go, right? No more talking about it, we got to go.
What do you want to see offensively against Pitt's defense?
Well, I've always believed it's the ability to run the ball, but we got to be able to take some shots too. We know what they're going to do. They do what they do. They're not going to try to confuse you, but they do it really well. And so we got to try to make some plays down the field and take some shots.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Coach Zora, thank you. Can the Irish run the table, or will Pitt pull off another upset? It's two familiar programs meeting once again. Notre Dame and Pitt. Kickoff when we come back. It has been a beautiful, warm October week in South Bend. Today the temperatures have dropped some, still in the 50s, as Pat Narduzzi leads the Panthers in his 9th season as Pitt head coach, coming off 2 of his best years. 11 wins in 2021, 9 wins in 2022. Now has the challenge, though, of turning around a 2-5 start with a new quarterback in Xavier, who just took over a few weeks ago. And it will help Xavier that Benjamin Morrison just found out that he will not play with a quad strain, so that means a little bit new role today for Cam Hart, as he will now move over into the boundary, a position he's familiar with, although he's been playing to the field.
Yeah, Jack, as you know, Ben Morrison has emerged as one of the best cover corners in the country. He plays that boundary corner. Cam Hart typically plays to the field. He'll go to the boundary. We'll see Christian Gray and Jaden Mickey working in Hart spot to the field. That's a big lift for Pitt. Benjamin Morrison's a heck of a good player.
One of the best in the country. Pitt wins the toss and defers. Notre Dame gets the ball to start. So Ben Saul send it deep, and Jadarian Price back deep to receive. Said he's the running back that combines speed and power, and of course, the kickoff return ability as well, as USC found out. You can't ask for a better day for football. Into the Saturday afternoon we go. This is a good kick that flies in for the touchback. Sam Hartman leading the Irish onto the field, coming off the biggest win of his 6-year career to beat USC before the bye week. 18 touchdowns and 3 interceptions on the season. All 3 interceptions came in the loss to Louisville.
We touched on the defensive performance last week for Notre Dame against USC, taking the ball away 5 times. But Sam Hartman, this offense, they were efficient. They cashed in on those opportunities. They played very well. They're going to need more of that again today.
Audric Estimé was a hammer in that game against USC. He starts at running back. Hartman finds Estimé through the air as he takes it out across the 30, and he is tackled by McIntyre. So we had a couple of touchdowns in the second quarter against USC. The defense was setting up the offense so well, and Estimé was paying it off.
good visit with Estimé yesterday prior to the game, and certainly a very good between the tackles runner, but he wants to be a complete back. You got a glimpse of it right there. Look comfortable catching that flat and turning up the field.
Go under center on a 2nd and 3. Hartman gives. Estimé is met right there at the line of scrimmage and will not gain anything. At a loss about a half a yard as Dayon Hayes makes the tackle for Pitt. On a roll today, Coach. How do you see it?
The key guys for Notre Dame are Audric Estimé. Everything runs through him. When he runs the ball well, everything else opens up. Jaden Whitehouse, one of those guys who Sam Hartman's going to take some shots with down the field. Shane Simon, the former Notre Dame Fighting Irish, is the middle linebacker for Pitt. Devonshire, the best cover guy in the back end.
So Estimé just got back to the line. It's 3rd and 3. Pitt has been one of the best defenses at stopping the run, although not so much this year. Back to the air. Finds Estimé. A couple of grabs for him as he now bursts into the secondary out across the 40.
When you get 230 pounds out in space, he's hard to tackle. Pitt, one of the best run defenses in college football since Narduzzi took over. They pride themselves on stopping the run. Notre Dame gotten the ball out in space to their big runner a couple times early in this game.
Darian Price checks in after Estimé picked up 10 through the air. Give it to Price, and Price is met right there at the line of scrimmage by DeShields. And DeShields, one of their best at linebacker, was banged up last week. Happy to have him back out there.
It's a real simple approach on the defensive side. They know where they're going to line up, but they're aggressive. Here's DeShields right here. They want these linebackers playing downhill. That's why they stop the run so well. You see DeShields down the line of scrimmage, making a play one more time. That's Pitt run defense right there.
It's Devonshire matched up with Flores. Hartman drops, fires, and has a completion to the outside. It's Chris Tyree working the sideline over there nicely in the 46-yard touchdown against USC.
You see the approach by Jared Parker, the offensive coordinator, right away. We're going to try to run the ball between the tackles. We're going to be patient, trying to run north and south, but we're also going to try to get the ball out in space. Estimé catches a flat. He catches a swing screen. Now this one out to Tyree in the flat one more time. They want to get to the perimeter of this defense and make some yards out there as well.
I feel like Chris Tyree just keeps looking more and more natural at that wide receiver position. Holden stays in motion across the formation. Hartman drops and has a completion. It's Jaden Thomas, and Thomas has 3 defenders on him. It's DeShields who was there to get him on the ground.
Talking about Estimé being a complete back, he's right here. Prides himself as a runner, prides himself as a blocker. This is a quick screen. Free backer in the middle. Good awareness, stands up there. He's a big, strong guy. One more time, Notre Dame getting the ball out of Sam Hartman's hand quickly. Short throws to the outside. Been productive and efficient for him so far.
Good-looking start to this drive for Notre Dame. From the shotgun, Hartman to his tight end and Mitchell Evans, and Evans going to pick up that first down. Wide receivers leading the way. After it was caught by Evans, you saw Rico Flores out there throwing a nice block.
Just love the variety so far. 5 short throws to 4 different receivers. They're getting it out a lot of different ways. A lot of those are RPOs, run-pass options. If Sam likes to run up inside, he's going to hand it off to Estimé. If not, spit it out. Good perimeter blocking by the Notre Dame receivers as well.
How about that start for Hartman? 5 for 5. Evans in motion. Price checks into the game. At running back, they give it to Price, then he flips it back. Here goes Chris Tyree. Tyree has maybe the most speed in that wide receiver room, although they say Jordan Faison is very close as he is tackled there by Kamara for Pitt.
When you play against an aggressive downhill defense, you want to take advantage of that. Okay, so Pitt's downhill. They want to go chase the football. Let's get them running one way. We'll come back the other way. So you try these arounds and these reverses early on in the ball game when the defense is all amped up and running fast. Good job recovering by Pitt. The play looked pretty good early on. Good for a 4-yard gain.
Jabron Payne checks in at running back, then he goes out to the top of your screen playing wide receiver now. Hartman scans and fires, and this is intercepted. He was looking for Rico Flores, but it is picked off by Philip O'Brien. And they put a lot of stress on these corners, on these safeties, a lot of man coverage. Philip O'Brien coming up huge for Pitt. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Allstate. You're in good hands. By Genesis Motor America. Visit genesis.com. And by Jersey Mike's Subs. Be a sub above. Some of the notable Notre Dame Pitt games, there has been some classics as you go through the years. And in this latest edition, the fourth interception for Hartman this season, had 3 against Louisville. And really, it's a similar style defense. They're going to try to lock these wide receivers up on the outside man-to-man defense. They get the best of Hartman here early. And
there were some question marks about the safeties at Pitt early on this year, but O'Brien makes the play. Notre Dame, the first opportunity they have to throw the ball vertically down the field. Pitt cashes in and turns the ball over.
Jaden Mickey playing that wide side of the field corner. Benjamin Morrison out. Veyer is sacked. It's Maris Leofau who shot into the backfield and spun him to the ground. Loss of 10.
There he is, Maris Leofau. He's a pressure guy. They're going to bring him one more time. Al Golden likes to dial pressure. There's a free release by the back. It's a free rusher. Veyer in that situation has to have an answer for it. Pitt does not have enough blockers. Once number 8, Leofau comes, the ball's got to get out of his hands. Al Golden continued to dial up the heat. A good start for this Irish defense.
Coming into this game, the 6th different offensive line combination in 8 games for Pitt, and they have a new combination again today. Veyer running the option, flips it back. This is Bo Flemister, and Flemister is met by Watts, Xavier Watts. So for Christian Veyer, took over for Phil Jerkovic, made his first start in that upset win over Louisville, the transfer from Penn State. Grew up loving football in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Now playing American football and making the start for Pitt.
His dad was a big Peyton Manning fan, so that's where he got his love for it. But then he started watching YouTube videos of Aaron Rodgers, and he couldn't get enough.
He did. 3rd and 14. You can use a little Aaron Rodgers right here.
Absolutely.
Veyer, clean drop, throws it right over the ball and has a completion. That's Dejon Reynolds. Not going to have enough to pick up that first down, and you see the punt unit starting to gather for Pitt.
Another good start for this Notre Dame defense. They were dominant last week against Caleb Williams and the USC Trojans, and they've just picked it right off. Leofau sack, set the whole thing up. Veyer does not want to play behind the chains in long down and distance situations against this defense.
Notre Dame defense had the Notre Dame offenses back in that USC game. This continues after the interception. Now Chris Tyree is hit, breaks the tackle. Now Tyree with some space out in front. Now he breaks loose. Here goes Chris Tyree. Nothing but green grass in front. And Tyree in for the touchdown. 82 yards to the house.
Tyree's one of the best playmakers that Notre Dame has. He breaks about 6 tackles. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 right there. He makes the 6th one miss. Somehow, someway, get the ball in this guy's hands as a receiver. Hand him the ball. Put him back on kickoff return, punt return. Just give him a chance. When the ball's in number 4's hands, good things happen for Notre Dame. And one more time, Chris Tyree makes a big play for the Irish.
Darian Price against SC on the kick return. Chris Tyree on the punt return. Marty Biaggi, the special teams coordinator, is loving it as Spencer Schrader knocks it through with the extra point. What a return this was.
Wow. Spin, churn, score, win.
Once the burners go on, forget about it.
It's over. Look at Biaggi.
And tomorrow exclusively on Peacock, it's a city divided in the Manchester Derby. Manchester City visits Old Trafford to take on Manchester United, 11:30 Eastern on Peacock. The Golden Dome and the Irish faithful is loving what they just saw. Chris Tyree turned the Jets on. First career punt return for a touchdown for Tyree. Always dangerous with the football. And now Kenny Johnson lets the football fly over his head.
So much of football is how you respond to the ups and downs of a game. Notre Dame gets the ball first. They drive down the field. They run it. They throw it. And then they turn the ball over. Hartman throws an interception. So how does the defense respond? First down, Leah Fowl sacks the quarterback. Defense gets off the field, creates a 3-and-out. Pitt punts. Tyree returns it for a touchdown. So the sudden change after the turnover, the defense responds and special teams responds, putting Pitt, a team that's in dire need of a win here, behind early on in this ball game.
Sibo Flemister, the graduate of Notre Dame, and at running back. Veyer drops and fires, trying to just set up a little slant route there to Kenny Johnson, and just beyond his reach, not able to connect. The honor roll.
Let's talk about Flemister first. He's the go-to guy for the Pitt Panthers. Bub Means, the big play guy outside, scored the game-winning touchdown a couple weeks ago. On the other side for Notre Dame, Howard Cross up front is a difference maker. Xavier Watts was all over the place against USC.
Everybody on Pitt seemed to love Flemister. He'll become a leader for that team. To the outside here, it's Dejon Reynolds, and Reynolds is going to pick up a few. We were talking to some of the former Notre Dame teammates about Flemister, as well as some of his current teammates. And everybody said the same thing. He's hilarious. Makes you smile, makes you laugh just by looking at him. And he's brought that energy, that attitude. And they say he's also got really serious about football. And you see the year that he's been able to put together. It's been pretty special here for Pitt.
It was verbatim, funny, goofy, hardworking, toughest guy in the team, bringing that kind of leadership to the Panthers.
There, quick throw to the outside, and it's Reynolds again. Very similar looking play, and not enough to pick up that first down. Fourth down upcoming.
We've seen a lot of that from Veyer here over the last 3 weeks. He loves throwing the ball into the boundary. Typically, Notre Dame is going to play with a press corner to the boundary, so you've seen them use some motion with Dejon Reynolds. But again, 2 short throws, short of the sticks. He gets the ball out there quickly. Maybe he's not letting some of these plays develop as much as he needs to.
We will see if Caleb Junko wants to punt this football to Chris Tyree again. Would not recommend it. And it appears a change of strategy by Junko as that football rolls there. Out of bounds, 7-0 Notre Dame. Chris Tyree with the only points this Saturday afternoon.
Toast to Notre Dame football by raising a pint of Guinness, a proud partner and official beer of Fighting Irish alumni and fans. Please drink responsibly.
Well, that was one of Sam Hartman's favorite memories when we were talking to him about that USC win, and he got to spend a bunch of time, not just that handshake there with Joe Montana, but spend a little time with him. He said, I know about the aura of Joe Montana, but he's able to just be Joe, too. They had a great visit. Flip this football out, and a big hit put on Jeremiah Love. He was stuck. It's Jordan Bass, the true freshman, read that one all the way and delivered the shot on Love.
A lot of quicks early on in this ball game where Sam Hartman's getting the ball out, Pitt's onto it. They want to play downhill. Jordan Bass gotten some playing time here the last couple weeks, getting more and more comfortable. When he saw that swing screen, he went downhill and blew the runner up.
Loss of 7. Hartman pressured, and this throw goes well up into the air, trying to run underneath of it down the field, and able to is Chris Tyree. Traffic all around him. Did he come down with this in the middle of it?
What an unbelievable throw by Sam Hartman, and an even better catch by Chris Tyree. It's hard to catch the back of the football, and that's exactly what he did in traffic. The safety McIntyre comes over. Tyree maintains the concentration. Remember, Tyree used to be a running back. He converted to receiver this year, and you pull back at the bye and you say, you know, where can we improve? What are the areas we can get better on offense? One of them is to get the ball to your playmakers. Tyree's one of them. He's off to a great start.
Gain of 47, and Tyree has been the star of this first quarter. Play action. Holmes stays, trying to get him back involved in this offense as he heads down the sideline.
This was such an unbelievable play by Chris Tyree. He's right here. He just runs vertically down the field. There's going to be a safety who comes over the top. Sam's got pressure in his face. He just throws the ball up. This very well could be an interception. Hartman gives him a chance. The concentration by Tyree. He catches the back of the football and maintains possession through contact to the ground. What a play. What a first quarter.
Hartman gives Estimé, trying to plow his way forward for that first down. It appears he is able to.
And again, we had a good conversation with Marcus Freeman. You know, what do you do when you have a bye? Big win against USC, you have this extra practice time. As coaches, you get a chance to take a breath and evaluate what you're doing on all sides. And offensively, it's like, hey, who are the playmakers? Who needs to touch it more? Number 4 does. He's showing what his versatility is as a receiver, as a returner, and don't be surprised to see them hand him the ball before this game is out.
First and goal. Hartman, play action. Trying to navigate that pocket, and Hartman is sacked. It's Okunlola. I feel like he could have an NFL future. Still a low guy, Samuel Okunlola, into the backfield for the sack.
You got to feel good about Notre Dame's protection here. Hartman has plenty of time. He's got a nice clean pocket. Pitt prides themselves on being excellent cover guys on the back end. If Sam had to do that one over again, he'd probably just kind of settle up in the pocket. He tries to run away from it. Fisher's in a good position right there. He runs himself into a sack.
Redshirt freshman getting home. Hartman, travel right over the middle. He is intercepted again. It's Brandon George who picked him off as Hartman was trying to slip one right in behind him.
It's another one of those run-pass options. Sam thought about handing it. He pulls it out. Brandon George has instincts, a feel. He knocks it up in the air. Pitt makes him pay one more time.
And time now for the progressive game flow. And for Sam Hartman, there is something about these two matchups. Louisville and Pitt with Wake 10 turnovers in those games, with Notre Dame 7. And so this Pitt defense, it's in your face. It's physical. They're physical with the wide receivers on the outside. They've been making him pay throughout his career.
Sometimes you have these ghosts against opponents that you play. Struggled against Louisville when he was at Wake. Struggled when he was at Notre Dame. And the same thing here. Struggled 4 interceptions against Pitt in that championship game in 21. Not off to his best start here today.
Rodney Hammond Jr. from the pistol. Tries the right side. He's able to gain that edge and turn it up the sideline.
To go back to the interception here, it's a run-pass option for Sam. So here's Estimé, and you're really just looking at these backers. Do they come defend the run? Okay, that's how I'm going to throw the slant. If they stay back, hand the ball to the big guy. And right now, Sam didn't read it very well. He forced it. Both linebackers sitting right there in the hole. George gets the big paw up. Panthers make him pay.
2nd and 5. There, Hammond Jr. and Hammond Jr. with a nice cut as he takes it out across the 30-yard line to the 33.
Just one more quick thought on Sam Hartman. They've been so effective running the ball in their high percentage game. And on the first drive, he takes a shot down the field that gets intercepted. They drive it again. They get down to the scoring zone, and he forces an RPO. I think the biggest thing for Sam and this Notre Dame offense is we can move the ball against him. We just got to be patient and efficient. Good opportunity for Pitt to change the momentum of this ball game here. They have a long way to go. Good start here running the football in the second drive of the game.
And that is the first down for Pitt offensively. And now penalty markers are out, and this will go against the Panthers.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Terrence Enos, the right tackle. You see him here. He just moves a little bit early. And there have been some issues on this Pitt offensive line. A lot of different guys are playing. Their best tackle, Matt Gonzalez, has been out. He's an NFL prospect. Their right tackle moves to left, and the left tackle's out. So now their new right tackle, Ryan Baer, goes to left, and Terrence Enos gets his chance. So a lot of moving parts, and you're seeing some of the effects of that here early on in the ball game.
Blitz is on. Baer trying to get rid of it as he had J.D. Bertrand running cleanly into the backfield and got rid of that football just in time.
Al Golden is not afraid to dial up pressures. He's doing it early on in this game, and here's Bertrand right in the middle of the defense. We saw Leofow get home on play 1. Here's Bertrand coming right down the pipe. Rodney Hammond tries to get there. Bertrand's an excellent blitzer. He times it up well. He gets in Baer's face, forcing the bad throw.
He really does. He must study.
He studies. Trust me, he studies.
The way that they snap that football, because he can read it all the way. Baer on 2nd and 15, trying to navigate that pocket. Throw goes high on him. He's looking for Reynolds and just sailed it. That was Howard Cross forcing the pressure. Let's check in with Zora.
Linebacker J.D. Bertrand is listed as one of 16 finalists for the 2023 William V. Campbell Trophy, an award given to college football's premier scholar athlete who has combined academic, football, and leadership success. Bertrand currently has a 3.62 GPA and is pursuing a master's degree in business analytics. He's also one of Notre Dame's captains. The winner is going to be announced in Vegas in December.
He can do it all. Led Notre Dame in tackles last year, led the Irish in tackles in 2021 as well. It's just been an incredible career. Now Baer, 3rd glove. Quick completion to the outside. It's Dejon Reynolds, and Reynolds runs into a group of Irish defenders and will not pick up that first down and will not get close.
Been a theme early on in this ball game. Get a sack, get a minus play, and then have to dig out of a long down and distance situation. Notre Dame getting off the field twice on 3rd down. But back to Bertrand getting that William Campbell Award. Campbell was the head football coach at Columbia before going out to the West Coast in Palo Alto, became an advisor to so many of the amazing startup companies, Apple and the rest of them. And it's great to see him honored for his work both in college football and beyond. And if someone else wins that award besides J.D. Bertrand, I want to meet that guy because Bertrand's certainly deserving.
Good point. Caleb Junko not even going to kick it close to Chris Tyree.
Junko's a smart guy.
Duncan Hartman calm himself down and get into a rhythm in this game.
He just needs to relax. Look at him. He's 8 for 10 for 88 yards. He's been efficient. He's been completing balls, but then he gets a little bit greedy. He just needs to settle down, keep running it, keep taking the high percentage throw, and don't force the vertical throw until you get it. They'll have some opportunities, but let it come to you.
Holmes stays in motion. They flip the football that way. Audric Estimé. Estimé with blockers out in front. Nice hole opens up. That's Rocco Spindler as well as Blake Fisher leading the way for Estimé.
Notre Dame has 2 of the best tackles in the country. This is the right tackle, Fisher. Watch these guys out in space. This is crack, and pitch it to Estimé. So we've seen Estimé inside, running between the tackles. We've seen him catch passes. Now he runs the toss play. When you get these big athletic offensive linemen and tight ends running in space, it becomes hard for those secondary guys on the other end. Good call by Jared Parker to get the drive started.
Bring Mitchell Evans across the formation. Hartman drops to pass and throws this over toward the sideline. It's Jaden Thomas. And Thomas been dealing with a bit of a hamstring injury as this first quarter comes to a close. So nice for Irish fans just to see him back out there. Starting to look like himself again. So it's been a really interesting first quarter. A couple of picks for Sam Hartman, but Chris Tyree doing the job to get the Irish on the board. 7-0 Notre Dame at the end of one. It was Tyree, the 82-yard punt return to give Notre Dame this lead. So take me from the Pitt perspective and Pat Narduzzi. What are you thinking? Able to create a couple of turnovers. How do you see that first quarter?
I think disappointed with the punt return, obviously. If they want to come in and upset Notre Dame, they have to win special teams. But the takeaways early on to intercept Sam Hartman twice down in the red area, he's got to feel good about that. And maybe more importantly, just the spirit of the team. They are playing downhill. They're sprinting to the ball. They're a little disruptive on defense. That's been the DNA of this team since Narduzzi took over. He's got to be pleased. His quarterback looks poised and comfortable, but they have to get something going on offense.
So to begin this second quarter, Irish offense in good position, already in Pitt territory. Completes this one to Jeremiah Love, and then it was dropped in the hands of Love and unable to make that grab. 2nd and 10.
You know, we heard Marcus Freeman in the open when he spoke with Zora saying, hey, we got to take some shots down the field, and they absolutely do. They have to take advantage of Pitt's aggressiveness on defense, but they have to be patient doing it. They have to continue to run the football, continue to win the high percentage game, get the ball out of Sam's hands, and then when you get your chance, you got to see it and take advantage of it. Just settle back into it. Sam's got to let the guys around him do some work for him.
Give it to Estimé, and Estimé is met and then continues to plow his way forward. That's Shane Simon who made contact with them, and he will pick up 4 yards regardless and set up a 3rd and 6.
Yeah, this is a big down right here. You got 3rd and 6. You're on the fringe of field goal range. So Sam's really got to think about the field position as much as anything else. You certainly can't go backwards, and any gain is a positive one to give themselves a chance to get some points here. From Pittsburgh's perspective, I would anticipate some pressure to try to knock Notre Dame outside the fringe of field goal range.
A 1-for-1 on 3rd down thus far.
Showing pressure.
Sure are. Hartman reads that at the line and now whistles before the snap. Do we have a timeout? Yes, we do. Timeout by Notre Dame.
And again, when you're the play caller, Jared Parker, and you're the quarterback, Sam Hartman, you have to anticipate what the defense is going to play based on the situation and also the field position. And again, Pitt showing some pressure right there. Oftentimes in these looks, you think that they think that we think, you know, so you can use that to your advantage, right? So Pitt showing pressure, looked like they were going to bail on that one. And now we get back into our huddles and we're talking on both sides. Hey, what did it look like? It looked like pressure. Now Pitt's saying, hey, did they see us bail out of it? So you start playing these mind games to make your best call on either side.
Well, we have seen Marcus Freeman be aggressive in this area of the field and play like it's 4-down territory. We've also seen Spencer Schrader with a powerful leg, able to hit these deep kicks. So see how it plays out on this 3rd and 6.
I would anticipate Sam having a quick option on one side of this formation. If they heat him up, give him a chance to get the ball out of his hands and maybe get a little run after catch.
Bring Evans in motion. Hands it off. They go right up the middle. It's Jabron Payne, and Payne maybe got a yard and a half. It's Dayon Hayes who made the tackle as well as DeShields. It's 4th down.
Schrader's been so good at kicking the long field goals for Notre Dame this year, 2 54-yarders. Looks like it would be just about at 54. Doesn't look like Marcus wants him to kick it. They're going for it.
Well, he's been clear ever since he took over as head coach that he was going to be aggressive on 4th down. Those are the numbers, 60% conversion rate, 6 out of 10 on the season. And now a timeout from Narduzzi and Pitt. Chess match.
Yeah, and these are those situations where you get a chance to rethink it on both sides. You say, hey, the emotions say, hey, I would have went on kick the long one. Let's go for it here. And then maybe you have a chance to take a breath and reconsider it on both sides. I think the situation is similar to the 3rd down. From Pitt's perspective, I would see them playing some man-to-man coverage, maybe coming after Sam Hartman. Sam's trying to get the ball out of his hands quickly to beat the heat.
Do you like the decision to go for it here?
I would give Schrader a chance to kick it here. He's been so good from a distance. You talked about it earlier. It's a pretty nice day here at Notre Dame. The guy's kicked 2 54-yarders already this year. This would be that same distance. I won't be surprised to see them try to draw Pitt off sides as well here. Sam's got to be ready for pressure.
Rico Flores, top of your screen, matched up with Devonshire, the best cover guy for Pitt.
Backers are up in the middle of the line of scrimmage.
Here they come. Hartman pressure. Now Hartman fires, and this throw falls incomplete. He's looking for his tight end in Mitchell Evans and just could not get the football to him. A.J. Woods on the pressure.
Hey, this look from above is brought to you by Walmart Plus. This is the 4th down play. Football's a lot about numbers. They got 5 offensive linemen and an extra protector. They got 5 there. This is 6. This is 7. Man-to-man coverage outside. If they bring them all, Notre Dame's going to be 1 short. Okay, they bring this one. They bring this one. He tries to get the corner out to Evans. There's not enough. From the left side of the formation, A.J. Woods is the free guy. They try to get a vertical route down the field. Sam does not have enough time to make an accurate throw. Good effort by Evans. Love the call by Narduzzi to come after him. Notre Dame didn't have the answer.
And A.J. Woods had 2 sacks last week against Wake Forest as well, for the 6th year player they love to bring out of that secondary. Bayer back out onto the field. Option, flips it to Hammond Jr. And Rodney Hammond Jr. is escorted out of bounds with positive yardage. Give him 6 yards.
This is the second time Pitt has run that play. It was a play that was successful for Louisville against Notre Dame. It's just an option. And this is something that Bayer's showing his versatility. He's a big, tall guy, can throw the ball from the pocket, but now he's running the option on the free defensive end. Been a productive play for him a couple times so far.
2nd and 3. Bayer drops, and this just a little too far, looking for Bub Means. So how do you get Bayer? What kind of a growth curve are you looking for? 3rd start for him. How do you get him playing his best football, knowing that he is really new to it at this level?
He's been so impressed by him so far. Has not played a lot of football at this level. Transfer from Penn State. Didn't play much there. And in these last 2 starts, what's impressed me is his poise and composure and how he's seen the defense and getting the ball out of his hand. Like any young quarterback, he needs to play. He's going to make good plays. He's going to make bad plays. I like what Frank Cignetti, the offensive coordinator, has done for him. He's put him in some favorable situations over the first couple ball games, getting some easy completions. Needs more of that today.
Bayer hands it off. It's Kenny Johnson, and Kenny Johnson going to pick up that first down as he takes it out to the 50. The true freshman, and Kenny Johnson, they really like him on the outside.
You know, that's a good example there by Cignetti. 3rd down situations are hard for any quarterback, particularly young quarterback. So let's go fly sweep with Johnson, one of our most dynamic players, and take some pressure off of Bayer. Good execution there by Pitt to keep the drive alive.
Bayer gives it to Mumpfield. Now Mumpfield flips it back. It's Kenny Johnson one more time, and Kenny Johnson takes a hit right there at the 45-yard line. Christian Gray coming up to make the stop. And a penalty marker is out.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block, offense number 0, 15-yard penalty, first down.
It's on Bub Means.
They go fly sweep reverse, and this is Means. Once the ball comes back, Thomas Harper chasing the ball down. It's part of the effort to improve the health and safety of players, the blindside block. Harper can't see it. You can't hit him like that. It's a good call by the officials. You know, we talked about Bayer's background. He's from Ottawa, Ontario. Played a year of high school football in Buffalo, a year down in Maryland. But you know, he talked about playing on the city team, the town team in Ottawa. And great experiences there when he was doing that. And, you know, still learning the game, but he's grown quickly in the last couple of weeks.
See his parents looking on. Bayer down the field, and it is intercepted at Xavier Watts. Watts was the hero against USC. Now Watts is still on his feet. He's played some receiver in his background. So the interceptions, no surprise, and the return ability as well. Howard Cross forcing the pressure. Xavier Watts, as dangerous as they come on the back end. 2 picks, the forced fumble, the fumble return for a touchdown against USC. Add another pick to the year of Watts. Well, we can tell you when the night shift starts, the nightmare begins. 5 Nights at Freddy's in theaters and streaming now. Peacock is where you can find it. Oh, Where's Waldo? Halloween coming up. Typically celebrate the weekend. Prior celebrations have been all around campus. I think I saw Zach Galifianakis as well, Allen from The Hangover, so a lot of good costumes there. You look at the student section of Notre Dame Stadium. Now Estimé, he can be a nightmare for the defense. Estimé hits the gas pedal down inside the 40, down to the 30, rumbles Audric Estimé.
Audric Estimé is the key to Notre Dame's football team. They have to hand him the ball. They have to give him his opportunities between the tackles, and here he is, double teams at the point of attack. He's got good quickness, he's got good vision to go with that 235-pound frame. Keep handing it to him, good things will happen.
Right back up on the ball, and a completion to Rico Flores. You had the 33-yard run by Estimé, straight up to the line, back to the air, and there goes Flores.
It's that same formula they used on the first drive of the game. Hand it to Estimé, throw it to Estimé, and then throw the ball out into the flat. This time it's Flores catching it and up the sidelines. One more time, Notre Dame knocking on the door.
This drive set up by the 5th interception of the season for Watts, tied for the most in the NCAA this season. Estimé runs into a group of defenders there. Multiple Pitt defenders on the spot. DeAndre Jules and company make the tackle.
Here's a look at the interception by Xavier Watts. Here's Watts right here. He's the middle safety. Okay, and if you look at Veilleux's eyes here, we always used to talk about the stripe of the helmet. Keep it down the middle of the field when you're throwing a go route outside. And you look at Veilleux, he looks and looks and looks and gives Watts a chance to break on the ball. He throws the ball too far down the field, but Watts is too good overlapping. You said it, receiver background. He went and got it like a receiver. This guy's been making plays left and right.
How would you coach Veilleux on that one?
Yeah, again, just the patience. He knew what he had. He knew he had one-on-one outside. His biggest responsibility is to keep that single high safety, Watts, in the middle of the field with your eyes. And so he'll learn from that experience. When he comes back the next time, he'll understand the importance of what the coaches have been preaching.
And we get the ability to visit, as you see Green make his way over to the sideline, a little shaken up, David Green, but we had the ability to visit with Watts just yesterday, and he was saying, you know, it was a challenge at points in his career at Notre Dame when they're saying, we're going to switch you to receiver this week. Wait, now we're going to switch you back to safety. He played a bunch of receiver in high school, and he's going, well, am I not good enough to play safety? What is it? But it was that Navy game where they started to notice he has a special ability in that safety room. We need him on the field more, and Marcus Freeman was very deliberate about that. I think he made the right decision. 2nd and 7, Estimé, right decision, giving him the football. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Jack. It is the right decision to give Audric Estimé the ball in the middle of the defense. He's such a big part of it. The strength of Notre Dame's offense is their offensive line and run the football with number 7. When he runs it well, Notre Dame wins. Give him the ball, give him the opportunities. Notre Dame controls the line of scrimmage. A good bounce back by Estimé, finding the end zone.
The 10th touchdown of the season for Estimé. Now Spencer Schrader on for the extra point. And Schrader is good.
Notre Dame goes fly sweep motion, but the biggest thing is these guys coming off the ball. Double teams at the point of attack, and here's Estimé, and he breaks it back. A big hole on the backside of it. Excellent block. Jaden Thomas outside. When your receivers block, those 4-yard runs become 16, 18-yard touchdowns. Excellent job up front. Excellent job on the perimeter. Keep giving that guy the rock.
4 plays, 63 yards, 135 off the clock, and Estimé with that 10th rushing touchdown. So you look at the season, the 6 wins, Estimé, you know what he's done, and the 2 losses just been completely different.
The best coaches keep the game simple. So you talk about, you make evaluations in the bye. Hey, you pull back and you say, hey, in our 6 wins, that's what's happening. In our 2 losses, that's what's happening. Why don't we make sure number 7 gets the ball? Clear that's the approach in this ball game today, paying off for the Irish.
And Schrader is in for the touchback. So for Christian Veilleux, it has been a very interesting and winding road to becoming the starting quarterback at Pitt, Ottawa, Ontario, as Coach mentioned. Then he goes down to Buffalo. He's just looking for an opportunity to prove himself in American football, get some of the recruiting eyeballs to him. Then he goes down to Maryland, so he's still trying to prove himself. 2020, of course, the season is canceled. Gets recruited by Penn State, among others. Ends up choosing Penn State. So a couple of years there, 5 games where he played. Then transfers over to Pitt, and he welcomed the challenge of competing for this starting job with Phil Jurkovec. He said, basically, I'll just compete and win it out, and he has done just that. Now, whistles blow right there at the snap, and it was a good thing for Pitt because he had pressure in his face by Thomas Harper.
False start. Offense, not all 11 players got set. 5-yard penalty, first down.
There's a lot to unpack with Veilleux's journey. I love the food at each of the stops, right? I don't know what he was eating up in Canada. Maybe those were French fries, but the buffalo wings, the crabs when he's down in Maryland. But it's been a circuitous journey, and he's learned a lot along the way from a lot of good football people.
Veilleux on the roll and now has a completion. This is Bub Means, and Bub Means is going to pick up that first down after the penalty.
And you see what the Pitt coach is like in Veilleux. This is a big guy, but he's athletic. And I like the call there. Get him out in space. The hardest place to throw the ball for a young quarterback is the pocket. So get him moving. You fake the play to the left. You come back to the right. You take a look at his parents and his girlfriend. They're all in town. They're as excited as can be. I know that. Their hearts are racing. But get him into the game. Give him a couple easy throws. Get him out into space. Make him easy progression reads. Throw the ball to this guy. If he's covered, throw the ball to the next guy. Good example there.
Bo Flemister, the running back, beside him. Going to run this option one more time. And Veilleux flips it back, and there is no room to operate. Xavier Watts and company meet and drop Wabuko. Let's check in Missouri.
Jack, Christian Veilleux's father, Martin, told me his son looked him straight in the eye when he was 14 years old and said, American football is what I want to do. After that, the family made a decision to go for it, putting money together to send their son to private school in the United States. Martin told me, I couldn't live with myself if we didn't help him. We had to find a way. When talking about his family's sacrifices, Christian said, I owe my parents everything.
He sure did. He lit up, smiling ear to ear once he started talking about mom and dad and the influence they've had on this journey. Pressure in Veilleux's face here, and able to get a completion, a dangerous completion to Mumpfield, and Mumpfield is going to gain that first down. Looked like it might be an interception when that ball was in the air.
It sure did. Jaden Mickey playing that field corner, comes in from outside in. It's just a flat route to Mumpfield. Mickey sees it. I don't know how that ball got in there. And again, the concentration to continue to make the play by Mumpfield. Missed opportunity for Mickey. Mumpfield makes him pay. Mumpfield's one of those guys that he's a security blanket for these Pitt quarterbacks. Throw the ball to him, and typically good things are happening.
Pickup of 14, and now with the pistol. There, quick slam, nice completion. Pitt offense starting to find a gear here. He has some good targets on the outside. It's Bub Means, probably his best. We've seen Mumpfield make some plays. Of course, Kenny Johnson, the youngster, but Reynolds, it's 4 really good targets for him on the outside, as well as Bartholomew, his tight end, who we haven't seen get involved yet.
It sure is, and Means has typically been a deep threat for him. He's made a lot of plays down the field, so when you threaten the defense down the field, typically those slants come alive.
The best we have seen Veilleux look this drive right here. Play action. Veilleux has a man wide open, and it's Mumpfield going to the ground to make that catch. When you just think about this defense playing without Benjamin Morrison, they're starting to get attacked.
It's a run action look here. It's a run formation with the 2 tight ends. You're going to get Mumpfield across here. You're going to get a deep post outside. I love the rhythm that Veilleux has. He comes out of it, he sees it, and he rips it. Wide open, running across the field. Not easy to do. He'd like to throw that ball up by his numbers where Mumpfield could stay on the run, but a big chunk for the Panthers.
They have loved running this option. Looking back to Bo Flemister, and there is 0 room for Flemister. Riley Mills as well as Thomas Harper there to get him on the ground.
I think one of the best things that Notre Dame does on defense is you look at J.D. Bertrand, he's everywhere. I love how they adjust from week to week and how they adjust during a ball game. And talked about how Louisville ran that option with some success. Pitt, the first time was pretty good, second time not as good. I think they should can the play because the last two have been horrible. Good job by Notre Dame adjusting and taking that play away from Pitt.
Christian Bayer, clean drop, looking down the sideline, has a man and just a little too far for Reynolds, who had one on the route, just waiting on the ball and can't hit him.
He has Dejon Reynolds outside, and it's going to be a double move. It's a hitch and a go. Mickey has not played that much football for Notre Dame. Typically, that's going to be Cam Hart as the field corner. Mickey's getting aggressive. He wants to make a play. Pitt takes advantage of it. They run by him. And in that situation, you love to see Veyer just lay the ball, put some more air underneath that ball so Reynolds could go get it. Missed opportunity for Pitt.
They have been attacking Mickey on this drive as Bud Means out there with him. Now toward the end zone and just unable to find that football is Mumpfield. Veyer had to get rid of it. Pressure in his face and just way too far.
We saw Pat Narduzzi dial up some pressure on that fourth down against Notre Dame in a similar part of the field. There was no doubt that Al Golden, the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame, was going to come after Veyer in that situation. Both offenses tried to take a shot down the field. There's really not enough time to allow those routes to develop. Good job getting off the field by the Irish.
Ben Sauls from 45. He's 6 of 9. And the yielding Sauls this time pushed it wide left. Well, he's got a long of 46, so 45, not the longest kick in the world. But it's long for Sauls, but this one just well off the mark. A little frustration for Coach Narduzzi after the missed kick from Sauls, but this is a guy that grew up playing for his dad. He's been around football forever, played football for his dad at Youngstown State. He said dad was the head coach, the linebacker coach, the defensive coordinator, and I was a linebacker. I learned a lot, but he was harder on Pat than he was on anybody on that team. Trying to keep his Panthers in this fight. 1st and 10 for Sam Hartman. Forward in the game to running back. Hartman trying to escape and just gets rid of this football over there toward Greathouse.
We had such a good visit with Pat Narduzzi about his dad and growing up in a football family. His dad was an amazing coach, kind of a legendary guy at Youngstown State for a long time. And he said, hey, I am my dad's son. And everything that he was about, I strive to be about, and that's how we built this program. We want to be tough, disciplined, aggressive. That's how I grew up. That's how my dad coached, and that's what Pitt football has been about since 2015. And you can see that here today. They're a tough team. They're a well-coached team. Not off to their best start this year, but they're battling and playing the right way.
Hartman gives it to Price, and that Narduzzi defense rising to this occasion. It's Nate Temple who was mirroring Price and made the stop.
And this is how they play. Just watch these linebackers run. Everything is downhill and fast. It's not an overly complicated defense, but the guys in the white shirts are running fast to the football. Jack, this was the defense that we played in the 90s when we won 3 Super Bowls with the Cowboys. It's a simple front. It's a simple coverage on the back end of it. But the team is clear about what the responsibilities are that allows them to play fast and run to the football. And when Pitt defense is at their best, they're as good as any team in the country on that side of the ball.
3rd and long. Pressure look. Hartman gets hit. Completion. It's Evans. Evans has some space out front. He tries a hurdle, although he is caught by Marquez Williams. So when they need a big chunk, it always seems to be Mitchell Evans, that tight end room.
Hey, it's pressure, pressure, and more pressure. Let's talk about what kind of pressure this is. It's a 6-man pressure with 3 guys deep and 2 guys underneath. That's not a lot of guys. Only 5 guys in coverage. They're counting on getting to the quarterback. And if you get a free guy running east and west, there's nobody left. Great job by Hartman standing in there. He gets it to Evans with a lot of space in front of him.
Here's Estimé. Couple of nice moves and takes it into Pitt territory.
It's tough sledding running the football against these guys. We talked about them being downhill. These linebackers get 4 and 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, and they go that way. They go right at the football. And so Notre Dame has to come off the ball, hit them in the mouth. There might be some dirty runs, but they have to be patient. They're going to find some creases as this day unfolds. So patience and making sure number 7 gets his chances will be big for the Irish going forward.
See those run defenses for Pitt. Top 12 they have been, 19 through 22. This year, a little bit different. Flip this football to Estimé, and Estimé is going to lose a yard. That's Okunlola flashing once again for Pitt defensively.
Among the best in the country over the last 5 years. They've taken a step back. A lot of guys graduated. 6 guys on that defensive front are now on NFL rosters, so they've had to replace some guys. But the DNA, the spirit of this defense has not changed, and they've gotten better and better and better as this year has gone on.
Well, 3rd and 6, they will empty it out for Sam Hartman. Hartman gets that football out of his hands quickly. It's Mitchell Evans, but Evans is stopped by Donovan McMillan. 4th down upcoming.
Yeah, I got to believe in this situation that Marcus is going to kick this thing.
And it appears he will.
It's 4th and almost 3. You're around midfield. Defense is playing well. Let's play field position here if you're Notre Dame, and see if the young quarterback can drive the ball against your veteran defense.
So Bryce McPherson going to get some work. And he will send this punt to MJ Devonshire. McPherson hits a high punt that's drifting down to just about the 11, and fair catch called for right there on the spot. 14-zip Notre Dame, the Golden Dome, shining bright on this Saturday afternoon in late October. And coming up on the All-State Halftime Report, Maria Taylor, Michael Robinson, Joshua Perry, Matt Castle recap the first half as Kansas upsets number 6 Oklahoma, Georgia, and Oregon. They're off to strong starts, and was just checking up on Clemson, and they are losing by 10 to NC State in the 4th quarter. That is what's up next on the Notre Dame schedule. Weird year for Clemson.
Yeah, well, weird year for college football. It's absolutely crazy.
So 2:14 in this first half, and there from his own 11. Completion, Dejon Reynolds. And let's check in with Zora.
We saw Cam Hart go to the locker room after that last drive. He is back on the sidelines. He was just getting his right forearm wrapped with some sort of pad. Remember, he's filling in for corner Benjamin Morrison, who is out with a quad injury.
And that is a huge deal, Zora, as they're trying to figure out life on the back end of this defense. Christian Gray and Jaden Mickey, seen a lot of them. And Pitt was starting to find some success offensively, going after Mickey on the prior drive. Now 2nd and 6. Mayer looking to the outside, and it falls incomplete. That's Mumpfield, the intended target, and Clarence Lewis in coverage.
It's a particularly big story for Notre Dame because they love to pressure and they love to play man-to-man coverage outside. So those corners get isolated a lot in coverage situations. And you said it, Gray's a freshman. Mickey, a sophomore, has not played that much football. They're keeping Gray to the boundary right now where Benjamin Morrison typically plays, and Mickey's to the field where Hart plays. Interesting to see if Al Golden mixes it up and plays a little bit more zone on this drive.
And this a crucial 3rd and 6. Mayer play action. Steps up, and Mayer throws an interception. It's Xavier Watts. Who else would it be? Now Watts takes it inside the 20. He has been putting on a teach tape clinic on the back end for the Irish. And a penalty marker comes out late.
Trying to sort something out here, Jack.
Sure are.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block. Intercepting team, number 27. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down, Notre Dame.
It's the second time in this ball game that Xavier Watts was playing that single high safety right in the middle of the field. You saw him overlap and go make a play on the previous interception. This time he threw it right to him, and this is the penalty right here. This is Bertrand on the left side of your screen, and again, it's one of these blind side blocks. It's Flemister. If he can't see you, you can't block him. And here's the interception showing pressure. It's a five-man rush. They do play man-to-man coverage, and there's Xavier Watts just standing in the middle of the field. Bayer's high with the throw, and again, Watts, the former receiver, makes him pay.
Now Hartman in attack mode, complete to Evans. Evans takes it down to the 10. And for Watts, his 6th interception now leads the NCAA.
And love the call by Jared Parker, the offensive coordinator. Anytime you get a takeaway, it's an opportunity to take a shot. They wanted the deep one down the field. Sam didn't like it. He found Evans for a big gain.
Hartman gets it to Tyree. Now Chris Tyree inside the 5 he will go.
And again, same formula. Get the ball out into space. Get it to your playmakers. Evans, the leading receiver, gets the first down throw. Come right back to Tyree, the former running back. Get him the ball in a quick screen. Good mix for the Notre Dame offense. I'll tell you what, this Xavier Watts has been a difference maker for Notre Dame the last couple of weeks.
And Notre Dame takes a timeout. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Thank you.
Everything you got. Do exactly what you're supposed to do. Do your job. Choose to love your brother. We have a standard of how we play football. Now it's time to go.
So exactly a minute to play in this first half. Notre Dame up 14-0. Walk me through the offensive philosophy.
Yeah, it's 2nd and goal on the 4-yard line. So you have a timeout with a minute to go. It's obviously plenty of time down here. You'd like to be able to run the ball with Estimé, but then you just have to have some urgency coming out of it. I don't think in any way you want to make this a throw type situation. Get your best play. Get the ball to Estimé, but just have some urgency after the snap.
Heavy formation. Estimé straight up the middle, and Estimé runs straight into the teeth of this Pitt defense. Shane Simon got there first, the transfer from Notre Dame, and gets Estimé on the ground.
Clock ticks. Now you're in a 3rd down situation. It's 3rd and goal from the 5. Plenty of time. It looks like Marcus is going to call timeout. He's letting it bleed. Wants to make sure that Notre Dame has the last shot and doesn't give Pitt an opportunity to come back the other way.
How far do you let it roll?
I think at some point you bang it, because stranger things can happen in these situations. If you take it down too far and say a penalty happens, maybe you get a new set of downs. You don't want to have to run out of time. So I like the idea of bleeding it, but you got to be careful of going too far. You don't know what's going to happen next. If it's just this down and 4th down, I get it. There's plenty of time to do that, but penalties sometimes throw a little wrench in that thinking.
And we've seen Hartman put the football in dangerous positions a couple of times in this first half. We'll see what kind of design Coach Parker, the offensive coordinator, wants to draw up.
The other factor, when you bleed it this much, you really take away the run threat on this down. You know that you don't really have time to run the football and stop the clock or get your field goal team out there. So you're limiting yourself. It should be a pass in this situation for Notre Dame. I would anticipate some man-to-man coverage on the back end by Pitt and probably some pressure.
Down at the bottom of the screen, Jaden Greathouse is going to match up with Devonshire. And Pitt wanted to get a look at that formation. And now Narduzzi is going to use a timeout of his own.
That's the old Kodak, Jack. You know, you take a picture of it.
Yep.
You know, let them line up in their formation, try to get a beat on what they're going to do, and and then you bang your timeout and you come back and you talk about it. And again, Narduzzi is telling his guys they're not going to run the football. So any play action, disregard that stuff. We got to guard these guys in the back end. And again, I would anticipate some pressure coming from him to force Sam to get the ball out of his hand.
And Jaden Greathouse was the touchdown machine at the beginning of this season. 3 touchdowns the first 3 games. Finally healthy. He's been working his way back from that hamstring. In his absence, we've seen guys step up like Mitchell Evans. Rico Flores caught that touchdown against Ohio State, only touchdown of the season for him. See Hartman's pick on 3rd and goal.
They have 12 personnel in the game. You got Evans and Stays, the tight ends, and then the 2 freshman receivers. Stays has been a good threat down here for them. 4 touchdowns, leads the Irish.
Bring Greathouse in motion, try to free him up. Hartman looks, fires, touchdown, Holden stays, and a penalty marker flies right there behind it. Was there a pick to get Stays open? A couple of flags come out.
That's been the route he scored most of his touchdowns on, those little drag routes where he gets a little help, he gets a little rub. He aligned on the left side of the formation. Evans was on the right. They came together. We'll see what the officials saw.
Pass interference. Offense, number 88. 15-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So you got Evans here, and you got Stays here. It's a rub route. Okay, so if the blue shirt of Evans disrupts the white shirt covering Stays, it's Javon McIntyre. The officials are going to call it. It's bad acting by Evans.
Threw that left shoulder out there.
As soon as you do that and the receiver's open, they're going to call it every time.
So 3rd and goal from the 20 looks a little different. Hartman protected well, has all kinds of time. Now he fires toward the end zone, and there is contact there and a penalty marker on top of it. Marquez Williams in coverage. Jaden Greathouse, the intended target, and Williams with a lot of contact.
And Jack, this is the very thing we talked about.
Pass interference. Defense, number 14. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
When you let that clock bleed all the way down, then you have a penalty. You have no time left. You got 3 seconds to go here. Now Marcus has to make the decision. He's going to take the points. But if you don't let it bleed down quite so much, when these plays happen, you have more time in the half to keep running ball plays.
So Spencer Schrader with a chip shot from 23 yards away. Can he extend the lead for Notre Dame? And Schrader is right down the middle. 17-0. Notre Dame at the break. Really an interesting first half. Hartman moving the football just fine. A couple of turnovers, though. Irish defense in full control. Pitching a shutout at the half. So the Irish in control at the break, 17-0. The college football bulletin here in South Bend, Indiana. Some of these numbers from half number 1, the quarterback comparison. Veyer, a couple of picks to his name. Hartman, the same thing. On the other side, hasn't been the greatest day for quarterback play thus far. And for Watts, the 6th interception season for him. Leads the FBS. 4 in the last couple of games. USC was sensational for him. And for Notre Dame, special teams, back-to-back games with a return touchdown. Of course, Price and what that did in the second half against SC, the 99-yard kickoff, and then Chris Tyree, the 82-yard punt return this afternoon.
Pitt came into this game as a 20-point underdog. So typically in a game like that, you need to win 2 of the 3 phases. In Notre Dame, the big play in the punt return game for the Pitt Panthers, hard to overcome that.
Squib kick scooped up by Wabuko, and let's check in with Zora.
coming into this one, Pitt head coach Pat Narduzzi said his team was going to need magic consistency and execution. He just told me we're missing a little bit of everything, but my biggest point to the team at halftime was we have to get in the end zone. For Notre Dame and head coach Marcus Freeman, he wants to see his team finish plays and be smart. Don't beat Notre Dame is the line that he used. He said on defense, Xavier Watts is taking advantage of opportunities. He said it's one thing to be in the right place, but another thing to make the right play.
Yeah, Zoran Veyer starts this half with a completion to Kenny Johnson, and he is met immediately by Thomas Harper.
Another good example of Notre Dame making an adjustment. One of the best plays Pitt had in the first half was one of those nakeds, those bootlegs, where he found the over route. This time, Jean-Baptiste was up the field. Harper was there to corral the runners. So they do a good job throughout the ball game identifying what's been good for the opposing offense and making the necessary adjustment. Nobody does it better than Al Golden in this Notre Dame defense.
2nd and 12. There, complete. It's Reynolds, and Reynolds will stop and start move to get it to the 30. J.D. Bertrand tracked him down and got him on the ground.
A big early 3rd down for Pitt coming out in the second half. When you're down 17, his first drive is critical. You can drive the field and make it a 17-7 ball game. All of a sudden, there's life in your team again. Early down success for Notre Dame's defense. Pitt finds themselves in a 3rd and 8. Notre Dame showing pressure in man-to-man coverage right here.
3rd down has been difficult for Pitt. There, scans, fires, and a penalty marker comes out. That was Jaden Mickey over there in coverage on Dejon Reynolds. And it is Mickey and Christian Gray, the corners, to start this half for Notre Dame.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 13. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's on Thomas Harper.
Again, we touched on in the first half the injuries to the corners. Both Morrison and Hart are out. So now it's Jaden Mickey and Christian Gray outside. And is Al Golden going to change? No, he blitzed and played man-to-man coverage. Okay, there's Harper there. Little yank on the face mask on Mumfield as he broke inside. A good break for the Pitt Panthers. Wildcat.
A Wildcat look. It's Flemister, and Flemister, not much room to operate. Maybe got a yard. Javante Jean-Baptiste, the transfer from Ohio State, making the tackle.
So Golden showing confidence in his young corners. As the school of thought they would say, hey, we're up 17-0. We got these young corners playing outside. Let's play a little bit more zone. Let's protect them a little bit. No, pressure man-to-man coverage on 3rd down. He's not backing off one bit.
See Cam Hart as well as Benjamin Morrison over on the sideline. Benjamin Morrison, the quad strain coming into this game, and Cam Hart has not returned. Veyer hit as he's trying to get this football out of his hands. He took a big shot. He's slow back up to his feet. It's Jack Kaiser in the backfield delivering the blow.
Pressure right down the middle. This is Kaiser. This is the 3rd time in the ball game that Pitt has no answer for Notre Dame pressure. It's a free rusher. Mickey outside. He's a corner who's rolled up. Has an opportunity to intercept the outbreaking route. He misses it. It's tough when you play quarterback when you got free rushers coming at you all day long. Not an easy down. And again, 3rd and long for Pitt. And a pressure look by Notre Dame. Looks like man-to-man. Harper following the motion guy.
Veyer pressured and steps up in that pocket, creates a little more time, and it is deflected and batted down by Maris Leofau. Leofau read the eyes of the quarterback all the way, and he made the play.
You see Veyer's athleticism there. There was a pressure one more time by Notre Dame. He finds a soft spot in the pocket and gets away from it. Look at Maris Leofau. Such a good athlete, such a good feel. He's long and he's athletic. Gets the right paw up there and knocks it down.
Making Punahou High School proud. Junko on to punt, and it will roll into the end zone.
Barack Obama's alma mater.
Well, it's Manti Te'o, 17-0. Irish. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Allstate. you're in good hands. And by Charmin. We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin? Fear itself at Legend Park in Mishawaka. One of the largest Halloween events in America. Halloween, getting in the spirit, coming up on Tuesday. A lot of costumes here today, dressing up as Sam Hartman.
How about that?
You got your costume picked out yet?
Good. Rocky Balboa. I go as Rocky Balboa every year.
Yeah, like, keeps it easy.
Tape your hands, wear some gray sweats,
there you
put a
go.
black hat on. It's easy. Bag of chips.
A few sets of bench presses. Hartman on the roll.
Got him.
And Hartman has a completion. It's Rico Flores, and Flores with space out in front. Patiently, now Flores hits the gas pedal inside the 30, down to the 20 he goes. Shane Simon had to run him down.
These play actions help all quarterbacks. Get a little over route here, show the action to the left. Sam comes out, he's got Evans in the flat. They don't cover the over route, that's Flores. We talked about how young quarterbacks trying to get into the rhythm of the game like those nakeds, those bootlegs. You know something? Veteran quarterbacks like them too. They're easy completions, progression read. Good call by Parker.
Pickup of 60, and that was Greathouse who was throwing the block out front. Here's Estimé, and Estimé bursts into the secondary and delivers a lowered shoulder on Marquez Williams.
Big physical offensive line. Big physical runner. Blocking by the perimeter guys. Just love the mix. You go play action on first down, then you come back with the hammer. This is a big drive for this Pitt defense. A touchdown here to make it 24-0. Awfully hard to overcome. Got to hold him to 3.
Joe Alt pulled down the left side of that offensive line so well. Hartman gives, it's Price, and Price breaks a tackle and into the end zone he will go. He's that combination of speed and power. See the power there.
Notre Dame has 5 running backs that they can play. Jadarian Price has not had that many opportunities, but when he gets them, he takes advantage of them. Big kick return last week against USC. This time in the red zone, he gets his opportunity, breaks 1, 2, 3 tackles. A really strong lower body to go with good vision. He runs through the contact, knows how to finish.
Spencer Schrader, his extra point is good. 24-0. So it all got started with Rico Flores. Fellow true freshman and Jaden Greathouse threw the block there, and then it was Price. He's been heating up.
At a school that already has a long list of history, another page will be added today. Kylie Kaczynski is the first female leprechaun to keep the crowd going during a Notre Dame football game. Tough task today, 24 push-ups after that last touchdown. 4 females have worn the green suit and played the role of leprechaun, but Kylie is the very first to do it inside Notre Dame Stadium. During pregame, she told me it's an honor and so exciting to cheer on thousands of Irish fans.
How cool is that, Zora? He's getting a great workout there with points going up on the board.
Put those push-ups on a clinic reel, my God almighty. Perfect technique.
Can't do it any better.
Not easy to do either. 24 getting up there.
Spencer Schrader, send it deep. Drive looked pretty smooth by the Irish offense. Kenny Johnson back deep, and this kick will roll out of bounds, and you see the penalty marker coming. It actually lands right on Flemister. Did you see that?
Free kick out of bounds.
Right there, his shoulder pads.
Kicking team, number 32. Ball be placed at the 35-yard line. First down, Pittsburgh.
Time now for a look from above, brought to you by Walmart Plus. We're talking about Xavier Watts. This is the USC game. He was all over the place. 2 interceptions from that single high free safety position, and it's the same thing today. He sees Veyer peeking at the go route outside, gets an early jump on it, and goes and gets the ball. This time Veyer is high with the throw, and he makes him pay. He's a former receiver, and this guy's been showing up week after week. Taking the ball away has been critical for this Notre Dame defense. Watts has been in the center of all of it.
Rodney Hammond Jr., and he takes it out across the 40 to the 41.
We had such a good visit with Watts yesterday, talking about his transition from receiver. The first time we saw him was last training camp, and the first part of practice he's playing receiver, then he's over there playing safety, and he talked about how hard it's been for him to become comfortable over there on the defensive side of the ball, and maybe more than anything else, it's just the communication. And we talked about how volume sometimes is correlated to confidence. He's louder now making his calls because he's more confident and it's showing up in his play.
Getting his master's degree in sports analytics. Mayer on the roll and skips it, but I think he's getting that master's degree just so he can tally up all of his own stats. It's a good degree to be getting right now.
Yeah, what a nice visit we had with him. From Omaha, Nebraska.
Only child?
Yeah, he's an only child. He said he got a lot of attention from his parents. He liked it that way. And very grateful for everything they've done in his life. And he's embracing this opportunity to play. Been one of the most impactful defensive players that Notre Dame has had all year long.
So there wasn't a whole lot going on. All we really did was school and football.
Yeah.
And he liked it that way. 3rd and 4.
Pressure again, leaving those corners outside.
Pressure right in the face of Baird. He throws an interception. All kinds of space in front of Jaden Mickey, and he takes it to the house. Pick 6, Jaden Mickey.
You never know when you get your opportunity. We've been talking about the injuries outside to these Notre Dame corners. No Benjamin Morrison, no Cam Hart. Christian Gray and that guy right there, Jaden Mickey. He had a couple near misses earlier. This time he made Pitt pay. They tried to throw the out route into a roll corner. Mickey was there, caught it, found the end zone.
He's been playing aggressively, hasn't he?
He sure has.
That time it paid off. Spencer Schrader got to make it 31. And he does.
Here's the interception. It's another pressure look by Al Golden. Here they come. And hold it right there, Greedy. If you hold it there, you see the safety over the top. That allows the corner to come off. And when you get the out-breaking route by the inside receiver, that corner has his eyes on the ball, and he goes and makes a play. Earlier in the ballgame, Mickey tried it twice to make the same kind of play. Wasn't able to do it. This time he makes Bayer pay. He and Benjamin Morrison came in together. And you talked to the Notre Dame coaching staff, and they thought both those guys were really at about the same level. And then Morrison got some chances to play last year and really took off. Mickey, more spot opportunities up to this point, but certainly showed up today in his first extended action in a while. That's the biggest play of his career.
And it's probably the best corner duo that Notre Dame has had in a long, long time. Morrison and Hart, and so it's tough to get on the field. And now getting an opportunity and starting to make the most of it is Mickey. There's Kenny Johnson, and Kenny Johnson runs into the arms of Kaiser. Right back out on the field.
Yeah, and if you're Christian Bayer, you hear Marcus Freeman talk a lot about one play, one life. That's the kind of mentality you need to have at every position, particularly when you play quarterback, and it's not easy. Notre Dame is a good defensive team. They show you a lot of different looks. They challenge you up front and on the back end, and he's turned the ball over 3 times. So it's really on Christian and also on Frank Cignetti, the offensive coordinator, to get him comfortable again. There's no such thing as a 31-point touchdown. So it's one play at a time, try to drive and get one score. Just get back to executing ball plays.
See if they can get a touchdown. Here is Hammond Jr. And he got maybe a yard. It's J.D. Bertrand with another tackle.
But these are the great experiences when you're young as a quarterback. Any quarterback who's ever played an extended period of time has had games where he's had multiple interceptions. And the biggest thing is, how do you respond? Do you go away? And don't think that Pat Narduzzi, the head coach, isn't looking at Bayer's demeanor and how he's handling this adversity right now. Does he keep ripping it in there? It's a good sign for his future.
Pressure look from Notre Dame defensively. Bayer flushed There with his eyes downfield, throws one up for grabs, and it's intercepted again. This time it's Christian Gray. You think they like him?
First down, Notre Dame.
It's the true freshman from St. Louis, Missouri, the highly touted freshman, showing exactly why. And tomorrow on Sunday Night Football, Justin Herbert and the Chargers welcome the Chicago Bears to L.A. Football Night in America kicks things off 7 p.m. Eastern on NBC and Peacock.
Tyson Bagent against Justin Herbert.
The Chargers have to win that game.
Yeah.
It's one of those must-win games.
Bears have played better. A tough challenge going out to that West Coast and slowing those guys down.
Hartman to pass, and it falls incomplete. And it's time now for our Hyundai's players on the rise. And how about Al Golden's defense? All of those players. You look at 2022 entering today. Look at 2023. The improvement has been incredible.
Those numbers are incredible. I remember talking to Al Golden during training camp. He said, we got to do a better job in the red zone. We got to do a better job taking the ball away. We got to do a better job against the deep ball. And coaches say that, but dramatic difference between this year and last year. Credit coaching and credit development of these players.
Here's Audric Estimé, and he rumbles ahead for a few. Let's check in with Zora.
Notre Dame's veteran linebackers say they can play faster in year 2 of defensive coordinator Al Golden's system. The defensive backs are more comfortable too. 4 picks today. Linebacker Maris Leofeld told me learning a new defense last season might have slowed him down a little bit, but he spent the offseason reviewing everything and now feels more comfortable. Jack Kaiser said he's now able to react better, look at the offense pre-snap, and identify the threats. The entire defense was going nuts after that last play.
They really were. Over there on the sidelines, Zora, it was cool to see. And you just get a sense of his brilliance when you meet with him and the way he talks defensive football. Now Hartman fires, and that is Jaden Thomas, who is still dealing with that hamstring, and it looked like it was bothering him on that route. 4th and 7.
Yeah, the Notre Dame defense has been outstanding. And, you know, one of the things that Al talked about, the learning curve that he had as a coach was he had too much defense in last year. Defense that he'd used in pro football that really didn't apply to the teams that Notre Dame was playing. So they pared some things down. They made it more customized to their opponents, and his defense has responded. Look at another opportunity here after the kick.
Just the second punt for Notre Dame. Bryce McPherson hits a good one, and this ball is dropped, and now in the end zone it is recovered by Notre Dame. It was muffed right there on the spot by M.J. Devonshire. Not sure what he was even trying to do with it, and recovered for the touchdown. I think that was Ramon Henderson waiting on that football once it came loose.
The ruling on the field is the ball was muffed. Goes into the end zone and recovered by Notre Dame. The result of the play is a touchdown.
How about that? They get the punt return by Tyree earlier. Now when they're punting the ball, a muff punt. Ramon Henderson, the senior, finding a role, contributing on special teams. He gets to cash it in. Again, when you're the underdog, you got to win special teams. Notre Dame has been dominant on that side all day long.
And a season ago, Brian Mason, the special teams coordinator, was moved on to Indianapolis with the Colts, made so much noise, blocking all those punts, key moments in the season. As now this extra point is missed, a penalty flag comes out, but Marty Biaggi really starting to make an impact on that side of the ball as well.
Never fails as soon as you start talking about the dominance of special teams.
Kicking team, number 38. The penalties decline. The result of the play is no good.
You're not kidding.
Yeah, they missed the extra point.
You're not kidding. He's only 35 for 35 so far.
They have been the difference in the game. The Tyree play got him started, and this becomes the nail in the coffin for the Irish. And Devonshire back there, one of the playmakers for Pitt, trying to give him an opportunity. Another senior, Devin Ford, the Penn State transfer is right there. And then Henderson It's a senior-laden team on defense. And sometimes these guys don't get opportunities to play on the defensive side of the ball, so they're looking for ways to contribute. Hats off to Ramon Henderson for being ready for his opportunity and cashing it in.
And Ramon Henderson is roommates with Xavier Watts. Think they're going to enjoy themselves tonight?
There's something to lemonade over there in that room, huh?
37-0 Notre Dame. A lot of push-ups.
A lot of push-ups. A lot of push-ups and Halloween costumes. It's a great visual.
There's some good ones. It's not very hard to find Waldo either. There's about 35 of them there.
The guy in banana suit doing push-ups right there.
And there's the Waldos.
Are they Waldos?
I think so.
I thought they were Dr. Seuss's. Are they Dr. Seuss's or Waldo?
Go ask him after the game. This is Kenny Johnson. Penalty marker flies as Johnson got back to the 15.
There is no foul for illegal block middle waist. First down.
These young corners have gotten an opportunity to play. Hart and Morrison are out. There's Mickey right here. We talked about him trying to trap. 2 opportunities early on in the ball game. You get safety help over the top. As a corner, you can sit outside. He missed the first one. He missed the second one. Wasn't going to miss it the third time. And on the other side, there's Christian Gray, the true freshman. It's a scramble drill. Means runs up the sidelines. What a catch by Gray. Between him and Watts making these plays on the ball, awfully impressive.
Sebo Flemister, and he runs into the arms of Maris Leofow. You know, for Marcus Freeman, there's been some rocky moments in these first couple of seasons for him. You know, it's the loss to Louisville, and it gets noisy, it gets loud if you lose any game at Notre Dame. But his ability to steady the ship and get the teams playing their best football as the season plays out, pretty darn impressive.
It's such a cliche, but he does an amazing job eliminating the outside noise. A lot of attention to the Notre Dame program, but when they don't have success, there's a lot of people talking, but he insulates himself and his team from that, and they typically respond very well. As we look at Riley Mills, one of those unsung guys up front who just plays great week in and week out. But, you know, Marcus, if you ever spend any time with him, has such an amazing spirit about him, and he has such a mature perspective. He wants to grow and develop young men. He wants his young men to graduate, get better as people, get better as players as they go, and that's what's on the forefront of his mind. And he tries to eliminate all those other extraneous thoughts from his coaching and build that kind of an environment for his players. They respond well to it. I think that's a big reason they can work through some of the adversity they've had at different times over the last couple of years.
Now they're trying to create any form of offense, and this throw goes to nobody.
And the one constant for this team all year long has been their defense. And Marcus Freeman comes from a defensive side of the ball, the former coordinator, made a great hire in Al Golden. Week in and week out, they play the game the right way on all 3 levels. And credit to this defense today. When you lose 2 of your best players, Hart and Morrison, and you play freshman and a sophomore outside, and they come up with the big plays, hats off to the coaching staff and the other veterans on that unit.
This is Jordan Faison to return a punt, and Faison breaks the tackle. Faison, he has been flashing ever since he got an opportunity, and Faison out across midfield. Just a hard man to get on the ground, isn't he? Lacrosse star, starts playing some football. He's on lacrosse scholarship. They got to get him on a football scholarship, and they did. 37-0.
Having friends over for the next game? Just tell Siri. Text Sam, don't forget the pizza.
So they will keep Sam Hartman in the game here, and now we're through 8 weeks, as well as into the 3rd quarter of this game. So what's the evaluation of Sam Hartman so far as a quarterback at Notre Dame?
I've been really impressed with Sam Hartman. Obviously a veteran guy, He's smart. He plays with a lot of poise and composure as Notre Dame. Looks like a pre-snap penalty for them.
Yep, Mitchell Evans.
False start. Offense, number 88. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, so many good things for Sam Hartman over the course of this year. Got off to a hot start as the competition got a little bit better. Didn't play quite as well offensively, and he certainly was a part of that. Had the rough game against Louisville. You know, you don't like the interceptions today. Forced a couple balls, but you know, overall, clearly a smart guy, a good decision maker. It's going to be interesting as we get closer to the draft how the NFL people see him.
This is Estimé. Breaks a handful of tackles. Please continue.
Yeah, you know, I've been thinking about it. We've seen him a lot. We've seen him in practice. We've seen him play in a number of different situations. And, you know, he doesn't overwhelm you physically. He's not the biggest guy. He's not the most athletic guy. He doesn't have the most powerful arm, but he knows how to play. He's a good decision maker for the most part. He's an accurate passer. And, you know, you think about who are the comparables. And you think about Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy played a lot of football at Iowa State. Ends up being a guy who's picked last in the NFL draft for probably a lot of the same reasons. And everybody knows what he's done in San Francisco in a short period of time. So
hands it off to Audric Estimé, and a penalty marker right there behind Estimé.
And I'm not in any way saying that Sam Hartman's going to be Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's pretty special so far in the NFL, but, you know, similar career path and similar strengths and weaknesses.
Holding. Offense, number 52. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
You had a long conversation with him yesterday about throwing the football. The deep ball has caught your attention since we watched him back in camp. Anything stand out from how he described it?
Well, he's a fantastic deep ball thrower. We've seen a lot of these games, and he recognizes the opportunities and on a very consistent basis gives his receivers a chance. Throws catchable balls down the field, and they've cashed in on a number of them this year. But the biggest takeaway for me is he loves ball. He's completely engaged in football, his technique, how he can get better, how he studies, how he walks through the game plan every week, and those things will serve him well going forward.
Hartman to the outside, Mitchell Evans, and Evans takes it inside the 40, but now Mitchell Evans is shaken up.
Yeah, I had the great fortune to play quarterback in Dallas with Troy Aikman for 8 years, and he used to always talk about, hey, quarterback's about decision making and accuracy. If you're a great decision maker, you can throw it accurately. Our offensive coordinator at the time, as we look at Mitchell Evans, certainly hope he's okay. Ernie Zampese, legendary coach, used to say, hey, quarterback's about smart, tough, and throw it straight. So the best quarterbacks have those qualities, and if the more talented you are, that's when they give you a gold jacket. But, you know, I think Sam Hartman has those qualities. He's smart, he's tough, he's a good decision maker, he's an accurate passer. So be curious to see how he holds up through the draft process going forward here once the season's over.
You see Marcus Freeman, who is out on the field to check on Mitchell Evans. And he leads Notre Dame with 24 receptions, 5 for 66.
And he's
today.
been a go-to guy for Sam Hartman all year long. And looks like McMillan hit him right on that right knee with his shoulder. Certainly hope he's okay. He's been a big part of what the Irish have done offensively throughout the year.
Third down upcoming, but he has just become such a key player for them offensively, especially with the wide receivers banged up. Thomas, as well as Greathouse, dealing with those hamstring injuries. He became the featured man, and Hartman even said that he has become his favorite pass catcher. And so they will check on Evans as Holden Stays checks in to the game for Notre Dame. This is Estimé, and he comes up about 1.5 yards short of that first down.
Yeah, it looked like it was 4-down territory for Marcus Freeman. So they run the ball, and now they get themselves inside of 2 yards. I don't think this is a field goal situation for them. I would anticipate them going for it. And again, I would anticipate pressure on the other side from Pitt. Play some man-to-man coverage and come after Sam Hartman. Look for Sam to try to get this ball out of his hand quickly.
So call it a 4th and 2. Hartman takes his time, and this is complete to Holden Stays, and Stays checked in when Evans was banged up, and McMillan makes the tackle. And a penalty marker on the ground. Couple of them.
Zolo plays the first down. After the play, personal foul, offense number 54. 15-yard penalty. It'll be 1st and 10, Notre Dame.
It's on Blake Fisher, and you see the frustration for Marcus Freeman.
Well, the good news for the Irish is that it was after the play and they have the first down, but the bad news is it's going to be a longer down and distance for them.
After a 9-yard completion and a 15-yard penalty, the ball is spotted at the Pittsburgh 47-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10, Notre Dame.
Be curious to see how long Marcus Freeman leaves Hartman in the game. We've seen Jelly come in relief, especially after you saw the injury to Evans. Now Hartman down the field and has a completion. It's Tobias Merriweather, and they wanted to get his confidence back in this game, get him back involved in this offense, and there he is.
Ended up being just a 1st and 10 situation, how they marked that, but this is what they've been waiting for all day long, an opportunity to throw the ball down the field, and this is one of their best deep threats. Tobias Merriweather, he's tall, he's long, he's athletic. Look at the stride, running away from the defender, Devonshire. And again, you get a look at Sam Hartman's ability to recognize and then throw the deep ball, giving Merriweather a chance, and Tobias cashes in.
In a 42, run the ball up the middle. It's Price, and Price is brought down quickly.
Tobias Merriweather is one of those young receivers at Notre Dame that they see a ton of potential in him, and he hasn't quite lived up to it quite yet, but that's what he does best. The ability to run down the field and catch the ball over the top of the defense. As we look at McIntyre, he's down, but caught a big touchdown last year against Stanford. 8 catches coming into this ball game. But that's what he does. Runs up on the defender and go get that deep ball. Sam gave him a chance, and Tobias made the play.
It's Javon McIntyre on the field for Pitt, getting some attention, and let's check in with the studio for a game break.
Notre Dame is at Clemson next Saturday. The Tigers were in Raleigh today taking on NC State. This was a huge moment. Cade Klubnik's pass tipped and picked off by Peyton Wilson, who takes it all the way back. NC State with a win 24-17. Clemson falls to 4-4. They will not have double-digit wins for the first time since 2010.
Ahmed, thank you very much. And it has just been a difficult season, even going back to week 1 for Clemson. And Dabo, admittedly, is not very into the transfer portal. He likes to build his program in a different way, and starting to struggle in this new era of college football. We'll see how it plays out, of course, coming up on the Irish schedule.
It's such a great observation about their program down there, because it has been a developmental program. They've certainly gotten some great 4- and 5-star players through the years, but so many of their guys, they grow in-house. And as we go through this college season, the transfer portal is alive and well. A lot of veteran players, juniors and seniors and graduate seniors are showing up on these rosters, and Clemson's going to have to kind of make the adjustment and grow with the times, because it certainly worked against them so far, and it's showing up on the field.
That is one heck of a wave that is making its way around
Sure
Notre
is.
Dame Stadium right now before a 2nd and goal. Hartman hands it off. Audric Estimé, he's got another touchdown. Amazing watching that patience mixed with that power.
It's a vintage Notre Dame drive. Sam Hartman, one of the best deep throwers in college football, cashes in with a deep throw to Merriweather, and they come right back with 2 runs. And Estimé pays it off. He's an outstanding low red zone runner. Great movement up front, but he just has a feel. There are defenders in the backfield. He makes one miss. He keeps the shoulders square. He keeps his body low, keeps his feet moving, finds the end zone for the Irish.
See if Schrader can get himself back on the money, and he does. Sneaks that one through, and we'll be back in 30. 7 plays, 55 yards, 4:06 off the clock. Hartman 3 for 3 on that drive for 60 yards. Only getting Tobias Merriweather back involved. He really is exactly what this offense needs as the season progresses. They need that length, somebody who can stride out. They're at the wide receiver position, still a young guy, and they're trying to get that confidence returned to his game as a fair catch is called for here by Kenny Johnson.
This is Above the Rest, brought to you by Jersey Mike Subs. It all started with this right here. Chris Tyree, he breaks 6 tackles, spins, and runs away. The long snapper has no chance. That got Notre Dame started. Then they put him in the slot. He runs a seam. Sam Hartman, another one of these great throws down the field. Tyree goes and gets it in traffic. That's what got Notre Dame started. The special teams return, and then the big play on offense to Tyree, and concerted effort by this Notre Dame coaching staff to get number 4 some opportunities, and it's paid off for him.
Christian Bayer drops to pass and looking deep down the sideline, and this is going to be brought in by Bub Means. He was able to keep those feet in bounds. It appeared he was able to, working on Christian Gray.
The big-time throw. We've got to look at that left foot. That left foot is in. He has control of the football. Doesn't matter. Pitt snapped it.
Smart move. Up to the line. Quick snap. That's Hammond Jr. who locks in the catch.
Means is the best deep threat that Pitt has, and you can see why. He's a big target. He's fast. He gets pinned to the sidelines by Gray. Bayer gives him a chance, and he goes and gets the ball. An excellent body control, getting that foot down as we look at
McIntyre.
Javon McIntyre hobbling off, and looks like Means might have something going on as well as he extended for the ball. Credit Christian Bayer. 4 interceptions. You're down 44-0 at Notre Dame. Touchdown Jesus is looking at you, and he continues to stand in there and throw the ball down the field. It's impressive, and this kind of adversity when you're a young player, if you handle it the right way, it makes you stronger and better. Looks like he's got a great response to it so far.
Been under pressure. They have been forcing turnover after turnover for Bayer, and now a sack as Jordan Botello arrives at the quarterback.
This becomes an opportunity for the Notre Dame coaches to look at a lot of different players, and they haven't changed. So Jordan Botello, he's played a lot of football here at Notre Dame this year. They call that a TE. The tackle goes out and the end comes in. Pitt doesn't handle it well. Botello takes advantage. But you get a chance to evaluate a lot of young guys. This is their opportunity. How do they handle these situations? And then some of your veteran players who don't play quite as much, this is their opportunity as well.
Bayer with the completion inside the 35. This is Malcolm Epps, the transfer from USC, 3rd tight end for Pitt.
No doubt this is 4-down territory for Pat Narduzzi. No doubt Al Golden's going to dial up some pressure and play man-to-man coverage in this situation. Regardless of who's out there, he's not changing his stripes. I think they're going to let it go to the quarter here. Flip it around the other way. Get a chance to talk about it.
So at the end of 3, it's been all Irish. Al Golden's defense pitching a shutout. Offense starting to find the gear. Ground game getting going. Interceptions one after another. Special teams coming up big. Notre Dame putting on a show.
Call this race like you need to win it, like you want to win it. This is a complete counter move.
The bumper to the back of the 24.
All right, just wrecked it.
A drag race, they're sideways.
That single move by the jackman could be the difference.
Denny Hamlin not happy.
I wanted to win.
He's won his way into the championship.
You did it, brother.
I can't believe it, man.
Unbelievable.
It was a video game move.
You made the transfer, man. Holy yeah.
The race race that determines the championship four.
One of my favorite moves at the end of a NASCAR race ever. Hammer down into the wall, just rip it around the corner, and final 2 spots in the championship four up for grabs among 6 eligible drivers. Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson already secured their spots in the championship four. So we will be dialed in for that one, and Martin Truex Jr. won the pole for tomorrow's race. So that's all coming up. And a flag down.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So all the mixing and changing up of this offensive line, and that's Terrence Enos, who's getting some playing time due to injuries, and he moved.
That was a 4th and 2, and Pitt was early. Notre Dame was going to blitz. Creates a 4th and 7. Narduzzi sends that punt team out. Notre Dame offense going to get another chance here, and I would anticipate seeing Steve Angeli, the backup quarterback.
Junko. Narduzzi doing with that stopwatch over there. You see that? That's Faison who steps up and calls the fair catch.
It was a Nico Freeman in that same game that had a long run that was negated by only having 1 flag on. Whose responsibility is to make sure the young man has 2 flags on?
I think it would be the guy in the huddle, which could be me, but you might be able to blame Coach Stanley on the
sideline.
Oh,
you're passing blame. Come on, Tim. You got to own it now.
There is Tim O'Malley, and he was getting grilled by the head coach. The roles have been flipped in the past, and so Coach had to fire back there. Angeli in the game. Jeremiah Love with the football. He is the burner in this backfield, and Love down the sideline. Ball came out right there at the end. He was down first. He'll pick it up and flip it back to the ref just to make sure.
Couple things to unwrap there. O'Malley and Marcus Freeman's sons both play on the same flag football team. O'Malley's the coach, and Marcus was pleased that his son only had 1 flag on, and O'Malley seemed to be skirting his responsibility in it. And, you know, when you're a backup quarterback like Steve Angeli, throw the ball to the backs. Good things happen. He's a smart guy. Spit it out wide. Let the runner do the rest for you. Good start.
See what Steve Angeli has. And the football off, and Audric Estimé is still in the game, and Estimé keeps thundering forward. But that is the same young Freeman that would go fishing with Sam Hartman.
Yes.
And Marcus Freeman would say, I love that you're going fishing, but Sam, will you just teach him how to fish while you're out there? He's coming back, his line's all tangled up. You said, you got to teach him how to fish if you're going to take him out there with you. And Sam has. Sam just loves fishing.
Yeah, difference between a coach's life and a player's life. Sam's got a little more time. Marcus is over at the office. And
right.
Sam took that responsibility. It's a fun story. Sam's gone to a lot of those flag football games as well, so all part of the community here at Notre Dame.
Angeli, and it is somewhat hard to believe Audric Estimé is still in the game, but no surprise that he's still moving forward.
The constant is this offensive line. They continued to be dominant up front, running the football between the tackles, coming off the ball. See Joe Alt, the double team on the backside, and Audric Estimé can find that softness and get north and south. And it's always fun for me, being a Jersey guy. Angeli's a Bergen Catholic guy, and Estimé is a St. Joe's guy. Those guys are bitter rivals in that Catholic high schools in New Jersey, and Angeli relying on the big fella.
Here's Estimé, and he is brought down maybe a yard on that line of scrimmage. He's over 100 yards for the 4th time this year.
It's really an amazing pipeline between New Jersey and South Bend. A number of guys. We talked about St. Joe's. Estimé is from there. Howard Cross is from there. It's the same school that produced the McCourty brothers. At St. Peter's, the Adamalola brothers, Shane Simon, who's now at Pitt, former Notre Dame guy. And then the other school in the mix, Bergen Catholic. There's Angeli, Jean-Baptiste, defensive end for Notre Dame. All from the same school, all played together or against each other growing up, and now they're all here in South Bend playing together today.
Angeli trying to put some good plays on tape. Flips it out to Jabron Payne, who has been one of the favorites And that running back room to throw the ball to. Caught the touchdown against USC as well.
The thing you evaluate more than anything else when a backup quarterback comes in is just their poise and composure and how do they handle the mechanics of the game. Are they decisive? And a couple good looks at Angeli so far. He comes out. He likes that flat route to Payne. Comes out and delivers a strike. So the more you play, the more confidence you get. He's a smart guy. He just needs to play more football. When you have these blowout wins, great opportunity for him to grow.
Coach Hartman will be moving on next year, or likely to the NFL, as now this is Price who breaks loose, and Price goes inside the 20. A beautiful cut by him, as he's now going to be carried down inside the 10. Billy Schrouth looking for a ride.
Darian Price is such an impressive back. He had the big kickoff return a couple weeks ago against USC. He had the touchdown run earlier. Just watch the lateral quickness, watch his lower body, see how he can hit and bounce and capture the edge, and then just watch him finish. He's not going to run out of bounds. He makes a miss, and then he finishes going north and south time and time again. He's a hard guy to bring down, and you love the effort and the hustle by Schrouth as well. Helping, pushing him forward. That's his version of the tush push.
Gain of 22. Here's Price down to the 5. And a little pushing and shoving there at the conclusion.
And sometimes when you're observing a game like this, hey, the game's a rout, it's 44-0, this is meaningless. If you're one of these players on either side, it is so meaningful. Taken from a guy who was a backup for most of his career, you're dying for these opportunities to grow and get better across the board. So both Notre Dame and Pitt substituting some guys in, and coaches are making their evaluations. A big impact on the opportunities they get in the future.
Nobody makes scoring touchdowns look easier than Audric Estimé. You saw him trot back onto the field. Heavy formation. Ball goes to Estimé. Estimé in for the touchdown. You already knew what was coming. Count him up.
It's really incredible. The Bergen Catholic guy giving the ball to the St. Joe's guy, and why not? Estimé is the best red zone runner in the country. Time and time again, we see them run this same kind of play. Tight end pulls, that stays. The biggest thing is number 7 going north and south behind that big offensive line. And fortunate to coach Ezekiel Elliott in Dallas for a number of years. He was fantastic down here as well. They kind of remind me of each other. Big, strong guys who know how to find the goal line.
How will the NFL view Audric Estimé?
I think pretty positively. Just put the tape on. 230 pounds, and the more they look at him, they'll find out that he's probably more of a complete back than you might think. Quicker, more athletic, can catch and protect, and certainly can find the end zone.
And Big Ten Saturday night presented by Discover heads to Camp Randall. Wisconsin looks to upset number 3 Ohio State. Coverage begins next on NBC and Peacock. That jump around tradition. How cool is that?
That's incredible. Going to be an electric atmosphere up there in Madison tonight when the Buckeyes roll into town. They're jumping around here. 3 little pigs. Pumpkin heads.
There has been some great costumes in attendance. It's been a party as it's been all Irish from the jump. $51-0. And let's check in with Zora.
Jack, all these Notre Dame touchdowns are great, but clearly no one is thinking of the leprechaun. We told you about Kylie Kazensky earlier, the first woman to put green on for a Notre Dame football game. With that 7th touchdown, she would have had to do 225 push-ups. She told me she was going to try to do 51 in a row, but at this point, they're just tossing her in the air. Look at that.
She's got great energy about her, doesn't she? That's a little lighter. How great is that?
That is fantastic. It's like a little Notre Dame helmet, huh?
Teach them young.
Great stuff. What a day for an Irish fan.
And new quarterback into the game here for Pitt. This is Nate Yarnell, who checks in from there. And remember Phil Jerkovic, Notre Dame transfer. on the team as well. They said he's been getting a little work at tight end. So they're going to go with Yarnell here, coming in, the sophomore from Austin, Texas.
Yarnell played at Lake Travis High School. There's a lot of good football down in Texas, particularly in that Austin area. He gets his shot, and they come out with one of these nakeds.
Takes it to Lemister, and he's looking deep downfield, has a completion. It's Johnson, and Johnson is being brought to the ground well down the field. So it's the second tight end, and Bartholomew has been quiet. Carter Johnson gets going.
It's that same concept. It's a naked. They're going to bring a guy here, and then Johnson's going to run a high-angle corner route. Johnson's a great story, former defensive lineman. He weighs 255. He lost 70 pounds. He's their second tight end. He's their blocker, but showing he's got a little something in the passing game as well, and Yarnell found him.
Yarnell back to the air, puts a lot of air under this pass, and it is going to be caught for the touchdown. Mumpfield ran right underneath of it. Beautifully thrown ball there by Nate Yarnell.
Yarnell saw the man-to-man coverage outside. Mumpfield, good patience at the line of scrimmage. He's got a tighten down split. This is a lot of room outside, and you said it. Yarnell put a lot of air on it. It's good coverage, excellent concentration through the down by Mumpfield. Defenders draped all over him. He finishes the play.
So Pitt gets on the board. So the extra point is good. At least break the shutout.
Sure did. Wonder how Veyer feels. Been banging away all day against that tough Notre Dame defense. Some of the younger guys in there, he takes advantage of it. Got rid of that goose egg.
Let's check in on number 20 Duke taking on number 18 Louisville. The Cardinals trying to go to 7-1 on the season. Jawar Jordan, one of his 2 touchdowns on the day. He has 163 yards on the ground. It's 23-0 Louisville midway through the 4th.
Ahmed, thank you. And that Louisville team, of course, resonates with both fan bases watching this game. Pitt able to upset them. And Notre Dame in this season, who knows what the conversations may be if it wasn't for that trip to Louisville. And went down there in that game, had the offensive line a little banged up, had Thomas as well as Greathouse, who were dealing with hamstrings and really were not active in that game. And they got caught by Louisville. Now on the return, this is Price who brings it out across the 35. So when we talked to Marcus Freeman yesterday, he talked about a 2-week sprint to improve. He said we got another bye week coming up. It's a 2-week sprint coming up. So we go to Clemson after the win today. Then they get the bye, Wake Forest and Stanford away.
If you consider that sprint to be a 100-meter dash, they got out of the blocks really fast. And they're feeling good at the 50-meter mark. And outstanding day for them, really in all 3 phases. A couple blemishes were Sam Hartman's interceptions, but other than that, an awfully good day for the Irish. They got to settle in and go down to Clemson and get another win before their bye.
And Jelly, Jordan Faison. He is electric, isn't he?
He sure is. It's a great story. We've talked about it. Came to Notre Dame as a walk-on football player, but a highly recruited lacrosse player. Getting some money from the lacrosse program, and Notre Dame had some injuries at receiver, and he was working some of the scout teams and getting after the defense pretty good. So they gave him a chance, and first opportunity was against Louisville, caught a deep touchdown pass, and has really shown up with every opportunity as an inside receiver, working underneath, and as a guy down the field. So will definitely contribute to the latter part of the season for the Irish.
It's Jeremiah Love getting a carry. And how about the day for Estimé? 19 rush, 114 yards, the 4th 100-yard game of the season. 3 rushing touchdowns, a career high for him, averaging over 100 yards per game. He's something else.
We had such a good visit with him yesterday, and he stayed here at Notre Dame during the bye. He said he was banged up a little bit, so He went over to the facility, got his lift in. He's a 600-pound squat guy and got a lot of treatment to get his body right, and looked like that treatment's paid off. He looks fresh today, getting after it pretty well.
And Jelly a little too far for Jordan Faison. Let's check in with Zora.
Audric Estimé is on the Doak Walker Award watch list this season, an honor given to the nation's top running back. Estimé tweeted about his goal of winning the award after his freshman year, and he's still standing on this. Part of the tweet reads, "Until then, it's time to work." Estimé told me he's currently in that process. Not too shabby today.
Hard to do it much better, Zora. It's hilarious, too, talking to him about his nickname growing up. What they used to call him, Bulldog. We said, why Bulldog? He said, I'd be out there playing flag football, and I'd be trying to tackle everybody. So he said, you're the Bulldog.
I just love the other description. Why do you Bulldog? Everybody told me I was ferocious. When I was 6 years old, I was ferocious. Still is.
And Jelly to the air. Nice completion here. So you start to see with the new offensive line in the game, Braylon James in the game, true freshman. Start to get a glimpse into the future of the Irish late in this game.
You sure do. And Steve Angeli, the quarterback, has been impressive. They've run the ball well since he's been in there, but he's been efficient. He's on time. He's accurate time and time again. And again, the more these guys play at that position, the better they get. And it's a good environment right now. Notre Dame's better than Pitt. They're controlling the line of scrimmage, but he's doing his part as well.
And Jelly looking good, 4 for 5, 65 yards since he's entered the game. Tobias Merriweather in motion. Jeremiah Love gets the football. This offensive line, and even if you go back to the Louisville game, we mentioned it, when they were rotating, a few of those linemen, we saw Billy Shrout, Kristofik as well, who were coming in during that game and really were challenged and beat on a handful of plays. But they feel like they've come to the best combination here with Coogan, Carell, and Spindler, who have sort of been this original 5 this season. The interior of the offensive line has been a work in progress. Of course, Alt and Fisher, the tackles have been tremendous. And just talking to the coaching staff about Alt yesterday, Freeman was saying, I've just never been around an offensive lineman like him. Nothing even close. Outside, Tobias Merriweather with the grab.
There's a great tradition of offensive linemen here at Notre Dame, and Joe Alt's the next in that line. He's the left tackle. He's 6'8", he's 315 pounds. His dad, John, was an outstanding player for the Chiefs for a number of years, so he was brought up the right way. You see the genes that he has, the length, the athleticism, his ability to bend. But he's got a little something to him too. He's got a little swag, and you know, if you want to play that position or play at the next level, you got to have that. The best one I was around was Zach Martin, one of the greats here at Notre Dame. He too played left tackle, 9-time Pro Bowl guard for the Cowboys, will be a Hall of Famer. And you know, the guys who have been around both say there's some similarities between these two guys. I would see Alt staying at tackle in the NFL just because of his size and his length, but he has that same demeanor, that desire to be great each and every day. And just look at the stats right there. The guy simply doesn't allow pressures. You know, time and time again, he simply blocks his guy and goes about the right way. He's got incredible genetics and ability. His future is bright. And he sets the standard for this offensive line like a lot of the great ones have in the past.
You mentioned his dad, John. I had a great conversation with him last year. He grew up coaching him and passing down that knowledge. So when he arrived at 18 years old, he was ready to play football for Notre Dame, ready to play at the highest level. As you see Angeli on the ball, Angeli into the end zone, Angeli with a touchdown. Looking for Cooper, Flanagan, and right on the money. Flanagan was wide open.
Run it again, and then come out on the bootleg, and this is Angeli. He's going to go this way and then this way. Flanagan's going to run the corner route. But Pitt defense goes and chases the run. Excellent job by Angeli. When you go left, you got to get that front shoulder around. He's got people in his face. He sees that he has Flanagan. He rotates that front shoulder around and he throws a strike. Awfully impressive so far. And Cooper Flanagan, highly touted tight end. He's got a bright future as well.
Marcus Freeman, Jared Parker talking a lot about just the improvement that they've seen from Angeli. Of course, getting to learn and study behind Sam Hartman. The improvement is on the field.
Look at that smile.
Next Saturday, exclusively on Peacock, Iowa heads to Chicago to take on Northwestern at the historic Wrigley Field. 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central on Peacock.
I love Wrigley Field. The Cubs jacket right there.
They love it here too. Yeah, a lot of Bears fans.
How about the game last night? How about Texas Ranger fans? Go ahead.
That was something.
They won in 11.
Garcia.
Oh, how good is that guy?
He's been so darn good all year. The most points by Notre Dame this season. And Flanagan, first career catch, first career touchdown. 58-7.
Jack, a lot of spectacular plays been made outside, but you and I both know the game's all about what happens up front. Two unsung guys for Notre Dame. Defensive tackle Riley Mills and nose tackle Howard Cross. These guys have been everywhere, controlling the line of scrimmage, both in the run game and the pass game. And 75% of the takeaways, it starts in the pocket. One more time, Howard Cross in the face of quarterback Christian Bayer, forcing the errant throw. Those guys have been everywhere all year long. No different today.
Sibo Flemister with some space. And Flemister is going to be tackled by Joshua Burnham. And Cross and Mills, talking with Marcus Freeman, he mentioned that USC game plan. And he said the key was that we were able to stop the run with fewer guys committed to the run. They were pass calls. And when you do that, somebody has to beat a block. And so often it was Mills, it was Cross. And you look around the country, the most pressures by interior defensive linemen. Cross right there in that 2 spot leads the defense with 25 quarterback pressures. And as these turnovers have stacked up so many times, he's getting to the quarterback.
He sure is. And that name is familiar to you as football fans. Howard Cross's dad played in the NFL for a long time, was a teammate of mine with the Giants, one of the best blocking tight ends in the history of the National Football League. And he brought that young man up the right way. He plays the game the right way. A little bit undersized. There's a look at old Howard Cross. Look at how long his arms are, how big his hands are.
How great is that?
That's a young Howard Cross right there. There's all three of them. Howard's dad right there. And, you know, they brought him up the right way. He plays the right way. His get off, the way he plays with his hands, his leverage, but maybe most importantly, the relentless spirit. This guy is nonstop. And he's a guy who's a little undersized when you talk about the NFL, but all you got to do is watch him play. There's no doubt he's going to play at the next level. And really the same thing with Riley Mills.
Yep.
Had a good visit with Al Golden yesterday. We both asked him, is he an NFL player? He said, absolutely. Look for a team like Pittsburgh to draft him, to do all the dirty work inside. So those two guys, man, in the defensive tackle positions, unsung guys, but make a huge difference on this Notre Dame defense.
Mills 6'5", 306, and it's all muscle. Just can outpower so many offensive linemen. We've seen that throughout the course of this year. Yarnell, and nothing doing.
Pressure one more time by some of the young guys, the backups here for Notre Dame. Yarnell tried to take a shot out of corner route. Looks like Narduzzi's gonna punt this thing away, and disappointing for Pitt to come into this game and have this kind of showing. And it's really in all three phases. Notre Dame certainly dominated on offense and defense, but also in the kicking game. But don't lose sight of what he's done at Pitt over the first 8 years. It's been an outstanding program, and no doubt he's going to bring it back as they go forward. Outstanding football coach.
Jordan Faison lets it roll down inside the 5. So it doesn't get easier for Pitt, we can tell you that. Florida State, Syracuse, Boston College, and then Duke as well. So tough games remaining. He's done such a good job over his run there, but this season has just been a challenge. You mentioned all the guys from defense who went on to the NFL. He's trying to figure out that next quarterback. Who could maybe be that next Kenny Pickett? Can they find somebody? Could it be Veyer? This obviously a very tough game for him. They love his demeanor, but offensively this year has not been pretty.
Yeah, when Pickett and Addison were there, Jordan Addison, now with the Minnesota Vikings, they're one of the best offenses in the country, but hard to replace those guys. Lost a lot of guys to the NFL on defense, so it's tough sled until they bolster up that roster one more time. And that schedule, Florida State, one of the best teams in the country. They won again today, done an outstanding job down there. They'll certainly be a contender for one of those 4 playoff spots as they go forward. But the big thing for Narduzzi and his staff is to keep the spirit of this group up and finish the season the right way. And for Notre Dame, this is exactly what you wanted in a game like this. Come off the big win against USC, go into the bye. You have to play the right way, lock in, and live up to your potential. They've certainly done that this afternoon.
And they let Kitty Minchie take one of the most fun snaps in football.
Truly a victory snap there, Jack.
By a substantial margin, 58-7 the final.
One of the most dominant performances Notre Dame has had under Marcus Freeman, and a good day by Sam Hartman, productive. Audric Estimé, again, the bell cow for them. They go to Clemson next week, and then they have another bye. So it's a 2-week sprint. They're halfway there. They're off to a heck of a start.
Out of the blocks well, and it's the biggest Notre Dame margin of victory against Pitt since 1996 when they won 60-6, and Zora is with the head coach, and Marcus Freeman.
Coach, 4 interceptions, 6 different players scored touchdowns, highlights in all 3 phases, really, but what stood out to you?
Well, I really loved the way I challenged them at halftime. You know, I know it was 17-0, but we weren't playing to the standard that Notre Dame football should play at. And I was really impressed by the way they came out with fire, and they finished drives on both sides of the ball. And I'm really pleased with our second half performance.
You challenged your team, like you mentioned, to be smart and finish plays. What does it mean to have them respond when you charge them in that way?
Well, I think it's just a great reminder as coaches. They'll respond to being challenged, and sometimes we got to make sure we challenge them in the right ways to get the result that we want. But this team wants to be great, and it's our job to help them get there.
Your defense left its mark on this one. How'd they do it?
They did a great job, man. Coach Golden's done a great job. I'm still a little bit upset about the 7 points that are on the board, but you know, it's about continuing to play into the standard that we set. I don't care who's in the game, and I'm really pleased though with the overall effort of this team.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Zora, Coach, thank you. And him being upset about those 7 points gives you a little insight into his frame of mind. Coming off of that Louisville loss and how he's looked at the rest of this season as we listen in to the alma mater. For our director, Tim Nelson, our producer, Stephen Greenberg, spotter, Malibu, Kelly Hayes, and on stats, Dave Ellis doing a great job. Sawyer Stevenson, Jason Garrett, our entire crew. I'm Jack Collinsworth. Thanks for watching. Now let's go to Camp Randall and Maria Taylor.